The National Youth Service Corps, NYSC, celebrates its 50 years anniversary this week. As one of the few national institutions that have struggled to abide by its original objective, the scheme has served as a veritable agency of national integration in the past 5 decades. But in recent years, the scheme has also been bedeviled by challenges that grossly limit its impact, reduce its appeal, and undercut the ennobling idea of national service. However, by availing less privileged states of quality manpower, the NYSC has made significant contributions to the development of the Nigerian society. Joining us now on the morning show to discuss the achievements of the NYSC is Brigadier General Yusha'u Dogara Ahmed, Director General of the NYSC. Good morning, Brigadier General Ahmed, and thank you for joining us.
Good morning, sir. Dr. Ruben.
Good morning. Well, first, I think it's in order to say congratulations to the NYSC at 50. Where will you say that the national scheme has achieved its objectives? That's our first question.
Thank you very much. So far, so good. You agree with me, NYSC has achieved its objective, which is integration of the youth, or let me say Nigerians all over the country. In the first place, youth corps members are posted to state other than their own. That has succeeded in taking corpers from different parts of the country, different from their own state of origin. And you agree with me, there are so many inter-tribal marriages and as well as even interreligious marriages. So many corps members have picked their loved ones in the course of the service. So they married from different parts of this country as they meet along with their loved ones. Equally, if we look at the education sector, NYSC had done very well. If you take away NYSC, some of the state educational sector would definitely suffer because most of these corps members are sent to the remote areas to man the educational sector in some of these schools, both in the primary, secondary, and some of them even in the tertiary institutions. They do well. That is in the education sector. If you go to the health sector, the youth corps members are deployed to man most of our hospitals, especially at the rural areas, the primary health care. Without the contribution of these corps members, you would believe with me that some of these hospitals or dispensaries or clinics would definitely collapse. So the common man, the poor man at the interior, will definitely have no access to health sector. I bet you that if you look at what we face today, most times we post corps members, particularly doctors, nurses. By the time you say you are relocating them from state that you have earlier posted them, you receive calls from either the community or the community of such places where those corps members were posted, or you even receive complaints from government officials, from commissioners responsible for those areas because of the immense contribution given by these corps members. So the contribution of the corps members in areas of health cannot be overemphasized. And don't forget, the NYSC have also launched the health sector initiative, health initiative for rural dwellers. This initiative is we usually carry out health services to the less privileged. We carry our doctors, nurses, sometimes our dentists to go and give free health care to the citizens. And so far, I will tell you from the time we initiate this program to date, we have reached over 3 million Nigerians. And I believe if you go to most of the rural areas, they will testify across the country what NYSC is doing to them. Because these are corps members who are readily available to give free healthcare services to the citizens, especially at the rural areas. Then go to the area of, apart from education, health, and let me talk of, what is it called? The infrastructure. Some of these core members, through the CDS, that's Community Development Service, they carry out their community service in the community where they are posted. So some of them build classrooms, toilets, dispensaries. The last one I saw when we had this health initiative at one of the rural areas here in Abuja, where the First Lady inaugurated the program at Jahitu. I saw a clinic built by a core member recently, not even up to, he's still serving. This clinic has over 5, 6, 7, what is it called? Wards. You have the consulting room, you have the accident room, emergency room, you have the admission room for male and the female, you have toilets for male and female, all constructed by a core member. I asked him, how did you come up? He said he contacted some of the well-meaning Nigerians. He contributed to him. They give him assistance with what he has. He was able to raise this building. I'm telling you, doctor, if you see this edifice, you will be surprised. Then apart from this, you look at the issue of this entrepreneurship. You know, we have what we call SAID, Skill Acquisition Entrepreneurship Program in NYSC, which is targeted at giving the core members training, income, and post-camp after the camp, so that they will learn to stand on their own after the service. And I tell you, today we have a good number of these youth core members that after their service have decided to establish their own businesses. Day before yesterday, when we inaugurated, we commissioned one of the projects in the NDHQ headquarters in Maitama. General Dr. Yakubu Gawan was the one that commissioned this project. He saw with his eyes. He was so impressed, so happy. In fact, he felt as if not leaving the NDHQ because of the display he has seen there. The ESCO members have established. He has from first-hand information. These ESCO members told him that they learned this skill while in NYSC. And now they have depended and they are self-reliant. They are on their own. Yes. They don't depend on anybody. They have not only become self-reliant, but they have become employers of labor. Right. Some of them told the doctor, the general, how many number of employers they have in their place of in their entrepreneurs place of work. So this has a multiplier effect. A core member that was a job seeker has now become a job provider. So the contribution of core members, in fact, in the last 5 decades, is immensely very high and very enormous.
This is really good to hear, sir. And especially going by what some people have said. They've called for the scrapping of the NYSC, and I'm glad you've highlighted some of the successes and wins of the scheme since its inception in 1973. However, would you highlight some challenges you faced? Because we cannot shy away from the fact that, yes, it has achieved some of its objectives despite criticisms of the scheme, but you have also identified some of the challenges to its full success. In fact, the director of the Southwest area during one of the activities leading to the 50th anniversary had admitted that the NYSC has faced challenges, even though they shouldn't call for the scrapping. What would you say are some of the biggest challenges you faced as a scheme?
Well, it is true in life, if you don't face challenges, there's no way how you can even grow. But there's no shy away from saying that definitely NYSC is faced with some challenges. But before I talk on the challenges, as you have said, some people are calling for the scrapping of the NYSC. If you scrap NYSC, what do you replace it with? Or you can just do without the NYSC. Looking at the contributions, I bet you it has outweighed whatever thing anybody will say. And I always say, whoever that is asking for the scrapping of NYSC, please try and find out from that person if he has actually served. Because he must have been talking out of the fact that he has not enjoyed the privilege of those of us that have enjoyed. But if you have gone through NYSC, I doubt much if any well-meaning citizen of this country will advocate for the scrapping of NYSC. You know, people say things without even recourse to whatever thing that they say. But I'm sure they will say it without any tangible fact to showcase. I always try to make an example of some of the achievements that I have not mentioned to you. I know something like this will come up. The achievement of these core members in terms of election, strengthening the election process in Nigeria. For instance, if you say today you want to scrap NYSC, what do you replace NYSC because they form over 75 to 80% of the ad hoc staff? Who do you replace them with? We have all known the relevant job these core members have done in the last few years in the general election, both in 2011, 2015, 2019, and then the recent one that have passed. In all these elections, you know, core members have received commendation, both from outside and even within Nigeria. In fact, in 2019, the European Union have decided to even donate over how many laptops because of the excellent work they have seen physically on the ground. These core members have done. They are along with ECOWAS. They donated their laptops that they work with to these core members. And based on these achievements and so many others, African countries, our neighbors, are coming to learn from us. They are coming to learn from us. They have seen something that is great, so they want to see the replication of such kind of youth service scheme in their various countries. For instance, it may interest you to know that we were taken, as staff of NYSC were taken to Gambia to go and establish something similar to what we have here in NYSC. Then other African countries equally came on study tour. They come to understudy what we are doing with the aim of going to replicate or just substitute what they have in their own country to have something like NYSC in their country. You know, one of the problems of some of us, we in Nigerians, we don't even appreciate what we have. We don't appreciate what we have. So if I think somebody who knows this, I doubt very much if he will be advocating for the scrapping of NYSC. That is by the way. Let me talk on the challenges. One of the basic challenges that we have in the country now, presently, is the issue of the failure of some of the state governors to live up to their expectations, because they are expected to play their role in supporting NYSC. You know, the responsibility of taking care of NYS, or maybe let me say maintaining the scheme, is divided into three tiers of government: the federal government, state, and the local government. The federal government always lives up to its expectation. Meanwhile, the state governors find it difficult to do their part. That is one of the major challenges that we face. And you know, the core members we have in those days at the early formation of NYSC can never be compared with what we have today. Today, we mobilize over 300,000 core members. So the large number of these core members, if they don't have proper orientation camp in the state level, which is the responsibility of each of the state governors to ensure that they establish or they put in place a conducive atmosphere in the orientation camp. Not only orientation camp, even the lodge camp, the lodges. After the camp, it is the responsibility equally of the state governors to ensure that they have accommodation in their various states. Then the local government too, they have their own responsibility. They are supposed to provide accommodation for these core members, serving their own community. Don't forget, virtually all these core members are serving in these states. They are serving the community in the state. But I tell you, some of the governors are not living up to their expectation. I will tell you that till date, some of the states are still living in temporary. We are still core members are still having their orientation in temporary orientation camps. Okay. While you see some of the state governors are doing fantastically very well. They do everything possible to ensure that these core members are properly taken care of, because they know the importance of these core members. They are serving their own community. Apart from that, they know these are some of their responsibilities. So they live up to their expectations. So the biggest challenge we have is the failure of some government to live up to their own expectation. That is why every opportunity we have, we call on some of these state governors and even the local government to do their bit. We try to conscientize them to be aware that these young girls and boys are there in the community just to improve the well-being of the community in which they are there. Okay. So the last challenge, I think, is from the parents. Most of the issues of relocation, I don't want my child to go far. I want my child to come here. I want my child to go there. It is caused by the parents. Most parents, they look at the issue of insecurity. Nobody wants this child to go too far. But I tell you, majority of these children, majority, over 80% of them, you post them, they are prepared, they are well prepared and readily available to serve wherever you send them to. I will tell you the recent incidents that happened in Delta State. A co-member who resides in Nasarawa State, the bona fide indigene of Oyo State. When she traveled from Nasarawa to Delta, unfortunately, she was kidnapped. She had a bitter experience with some of these kidnappers. But you know, this girl fought some of these kidnappers. She was able to beat out 3 men and extricate herself out of that bush. She came out with bruises and so many, bruises in her face. What happened? She said she was able to use, the martial act she learned in the camp. She fought her way and she left. And she left some other people captive there with the kidnappers. It was a pastor that saw her, first instance, and gave her a rescue. You know, so when I saw this, I saw the picture. I was very, very, I feel sorry about it. I quickly looked for her state coordinator, and now I want to speak with this girl. I spoke with her on video call. I look at her face and the injury. Do you know what I did after the treatment of that girl? When she was discharged from the hospital, I personally called her. I said, look, tell me what you want. Anywhere in this country where you want to be posted to, let me relocate you to go to such places so that you take care of yourself. She smiled and said, sir, don't worry, I'm good to go. I will serve in Delta State. So you can see the preparedness of these young Nigerians, ever ready to serve wherever they are posted to. Yes, sir, I can listen to you.
I mean, those are very commendable works there. And, you know, most Nigerians going through the NYSC system can commend the efforts of the NYSC in the last 50 years. And we've all been celebrating the NYSC in the last 50 years. You know, it's been something for all of us to go through, you know, that brings about that unity, that cohesion, that strength. But let's talk a little bit about some matters that are not good. This certificate problem, NYSC certificate is a big problem now in Nigeria. In fact, some people came out to say about a certain certificate given to a governor-elect of a state in Nigeria today. And the governor-elect had to go ahead even to sue NYSC. Increasingly, we are having certificate forgery problems. What are you doing to stop that? See, there's also another case. You remember, it was the result of an NYSC debacle that made a former minister of finance in this country resign her position. You know, this constant forgery of NYSC certificate, what happens around the racketeering? What have you done to stop whatever is going on there?
Well, my brother, you know, this case is in court. I may not want to say much, but let me draw your attention. The issue of racketeering in every facet of life is happening in this country. Not only in Nigeria, everywhere you know. So it's not only NYSC. And let me tell you, the issue of the certificate you are talking about, I don't want to talk much about it. They came to NYSC for verification. We said this certificate is not issued from us. I wonder why issue of racketeering will come off when you are talking about elite, somebody who is a graduate, somebody who is well enlightened. You obtain certificate from where? You don't know where you obtain certificate. You don't know how we issue our certificate. So you have problem with certificate. How? You can go and collect certificate on the street. You can go and collect certificate in your room. You don't go and collect certificate in the hotel. You should know better. Please, I don't want to talk much about this. The governor-elect is a lawyer. I am not a lawyer, but I know as a DG NYSC, I'm fully aware of this case. He came to me. I told him, I called my director certification. Let me see your certificate. I was so frank and clear to him that this certificate is not from us. I've shown him some few examples just to help him. But he chose to go to court and even to sue whoever is suing. Well, as far as I'm concerned, NYSC has not been sued. I'm yet to see any from court. I have not seen anything. All you are saying, or all people are saying, I'm just hearing from outside. I have not received any court order. I have not seen anything. But I bet you we don't tolerate anything certificate racketeering. If it is from any of our staff, we caught you, we hand you over to the law law authority. They will go and
Brigadier General,
they're not from us.
Brigadier General,
at all.
Maybe you should read this day newspaper. There's a story that says Enugu governor-elect Mbah sues NYSC, demands 20 billion for alleged fraudulent misrepresentation of facts. Maybe you should read that so that maybe when it comes to your front, you'll be able to.
Do you sue somebody? Do you sue somebody on the pages of newspaper?
No, but it's reported based on the law.
Do you listen to newspaper and act on that one?
Maybe you will get. Once you get it, maybe you'll be able to respond.
So we are waiting
to it.
for the.
Yes.
Okay.
Well, when we get it, we can respond to it, and we will respond at the court to that whatever.
General, two things.
Sir.
There have been reports about
Yes,
fake youth corps members. Is there something like fake youth corps members? And if you are aware of that, what are you doing about it? And number two, when you assumed office in January, you said you declared a 5-point agenda. That you were, and part of that 5-point agenda, let me just single out one, is the security and welfare of youth corps members. But you have also been quoted as saying youth corps members who are asking that their allowance should be increased from 33,000 should perish the thought that you even think that 33,000 naira for youth corps members is very generous. In today's Nigeria, where 33,000 naira cannot buy a bag of rice. So are you not contradicting yourself when you talk about security and welfare and you say 33,000 naira is very generous? Those two issues.
Well, fair corps members. On those few years, we used to hear about fair corps members because of the manner in which we mobilize. But in the present NYSC, in the last, let me say, 2-3 years, I've not heard of anything called fair corps members because all the things we do here now is purely we digitalize our this ICT, carry on with the mobilization of corps members. I think that has substantially been dealt with in the recent times since I reported to NYSC. I have not heard of anything called fair corps members. On those days, we used to even have some fake, orientation camps and the rest. But I think that has substantially been dealt with in the recent time. I've not heard of that. Then the issue of welfare, security and welfare of the corps members. Well, I was quoted saying that, the issue of security is my top priority to both the corps members and the staff alike. When I was talking about the issue of the welfare of the corps members, I said, let me repeat myself again, and I will continue to say it. Anywhere I say to corps members, never you rely on the increment of Alawi every time, but be sure, start thinking on how to take care of yourself. Pick a skill, either in NYSC camp and then outside the camp, so that you can build yourself. At the end of the service, you will be able to stand on your own. And I said, you remember that until 2019, the allowance of corps members used to be 19,800. But with the increment given to civil servant, your allowance was increased from 19,800 to 33,000. At least it is something reasonable. So instead of start thinking now of increment, start thinking of what to do in service and outside the service so that you can help yourself. I now go ahead to buttress the fact that even we, the civil servant, no amount of money given to us, there is enough for us. The money given to me today, well, it's okay, I can take care of myself. But if I say you are giving me more, I will gladly say, okay, I need it. nobody will say what he has is enough. Because if it is enough, majority of people today will not, some people today will not even go start going to look for money. So start thinking of how to create wealth for yourself instead of always demanding for increment of allowance. And I went further to tell them, even this one that was increased, we did not suffer much, didn't take the government or we much stress to get it. Because immediately the civil servant allowance was increased, the president have decided to increase corpus allowance slightly above the minimum wage of the civil servant, which is good enough. I think if you are comparing of rice, then you are alone, you are serving. By the time you buy a bag of rice, maybe it will take you 6 months to finish the rice. So you can see that if you take half of bag of rice, half of it, it will take you another at least 3 months. So I think I try to, at all the time I talk to core members to encourage them, to tell them that they should not lavish their money. Even from that 33, I encourage them to save something out of it for another time, so that they can make good use of the money that comes their hand.
All right, well, thank you very much. Again, congratulations to the National Youth Service Corps at 50. I know that there are some activities lined up. You've already had some across different states in the Federation. What are some of the things to look forward to as you celebrate 50 years of, as you've mentioned, impact and success of the scheme?
Well, as you are aware, we have done most of the activities, but for today, we are going for Jumat prayers, where we are expected, all of us will be at the mosque. For those of us who are Muslims, and after the prayers in the evening, we have football match as well. Is that so? We have football match. This football match is between the minister's team and the NYSC. And I want to tell you, the minister has promised me that he's going to play because he is a footballer. And equally, I'm going to play on that match. So we are going for novelty football match this evening. Then by tomorrow, we are also having the gala night, where we make some presentation to outstanding Director Generals and some other notable Nigerians who have contributed to the survival of NYSC. Amongst them, we have some of the outstanding governors who have actually stand out among others. And then on Sunday, we round it up with interdenominational service in the church. Those are the few activities that remain so far for us.
All right. Well, sounds great. Once again, congratulations, Brigadier General Dogara Ahmed, Director General, National Youth Service Corps. Thank you for your time this morning, and we hope that all the activities remaining will be successful.